Hello crafty friends, this is the Papered Chef here. In today's Brother Scan and Cut tips and tricks video, I'm going to show you how to make the most of your Let It Snow Designer Series paper by using a feature called background scan or background scanning. For this particular tips and tricks video, I'm going to be using the SDX 125. Let's get started. Just wanted to show you a little corner of this piece of the Let It Snow Designer Series paper before I move it closer to the machine, so you know which piece of paper we'll be scanning in. Now let me move the machine closer. And you're going to get an overall idea of why I did this as we go along, and you're going to go, oh, okay, I can see how I can use up the paper more efficiently. Okay, I hope you understand that after we go over the whole big picture. All right, so here's the big picture. I have this piece of Designer Series paper, and I tried cutting it in squares. I tried cutting out squares from it, but what happened is the different snowmen would overlap. Okay, let me just get one of my squares to show you. This was almost on my last piece of paper. All right, so there's one on the mat. So I'm trying to use squares, and I was trying to like make little tops of pizza boxes. I thought this piece of paper would be great for that. But every time I tried to cut this out in squares, the different snowmen would overlap. So I would get this piece of snowman, but then I'd get half of a snowman over here. Okay, so then I said, well, the solution is circles. If I cut this piece of paper out with circles, then I will save my snowmen. I'm going to salvage them all, because they won't overlap, because the circles won't make the snowmen overlap. Okay, so that's the overall concept. So I came up with this circle idea, and what's great about it is, let's just go in, we're going to just get started on the tutorial. I don't want to do any more introduction, and then we'll talk about what's great about it when I get into the reusable template part of this. All right, pattern. We turn on your machine, you go to pattern, okay? That's step one. Pick the shapes, okay? We're not going to do an entire template right now, but I will show you my template at the end of this video. We're going to make a few shapes. We're going to put some circles onto the mat. Okay, let's scroll down. Get yourself a circle. Okay, so we're going to get the circle, BA-A045. Okay, crafty friends, this is all going to make sense. After we do this a little bit, we're going to practice. So we're going to do a few of these. I'm going to just change, if you change the height or width, they stay in proportion. That's because it's already set to stay in proportion. This button is not selected. So 2.75. We want a circle that's 2.75. Okay, so let's just make one of those for now, just one. We're going to set it on the mat. Now we're going to add, okay, add. So we have one circle on the mat. We're going to add a couple more circles. So go to pattern, add pattern, go to shapes. Scroll down. Okay. And let's add a couple circles that are 2.5. In fact, in the description of this video, I will tell you my template. I'll tell you how many circles I have and what sizes they are. How many of each size. Because it was a lot of practice to get all the snowmen to fit on this page. Okay. And so now we have 2.5-inch circles. So for the 2.5-inch circles, you can put 2 of those on the mat. Okay, select 2 of those. You'd have more if you're doing your entire mat. And finally, let's add one more circle. And as you know, I'm going down in 1/4-inch increments. So I have a 2.75, 2.5, and now I'm just going to add one more circle that's 2.25. Okay, so change the height and width, they stay in proportion. All right, and then I can just jump right into it. So let's say set. So now we have 4 circles on the mat. All right. The tip and trick for today is called background scan or background scanning. So the concept is we're going to scan in the entire piece of Let It Snow Specialty Designer Series paper. We're going to use the scan button. It's going to be used as a reference in the background and so we can place these circles. We're going to be able to move these circles over the background. That's the concept. So let's do it. Let's scan in. We're going to say start. Now, prior to this tutorial, I've only just loaded the mat. That's all you missed. I loaded the mat with this button there. That's the load mat button. Okay, so the background scan has a couple features. Like right now, we can see all the snowmen. But if you go here to this little settings, this little wrench, and you can actually make the background even lighter. Okay, so then it's kind of easier to see your circles over the background. Okay, or I'm sorry, that was darker, wasn't it? Let's see. Let's go here. Oh, that was darker, and this is lighter. All right, let's leave it on the lighter. Okay, that's darker. I'm going to leave it on the lighter. Okay, so anyway, you can leave it lighter. As many times as I teach this in my course, I have to remember where all the settings are myself. If you have it lighter, then it's easier to move the circles over the background. Let's just do the top ones for now. All right, so we're going to take the biggest circle. The biggest circle was 2.75. And I'm just going to put it over the top of that snowman. Okay? So you can put it down as much as you want with your stylus, or you can have some little snow showing. But don't cut off his hat. Leave a little space between his hat. Okay, now let's take a couple of the other circles. We're going to take a 2.5-inch circle. Make sure the circles don't overlap. In fact, I'll zoom in the edit feature, and we'll make sure, we can actually show you this. And then we'll do another 2.5-inch circle for this snowman. But that one looks like it's overlapping. So we'll move this a little bit. Like I said, we'll zoom in to make sure. And then we'll do this little circle over here that's 2.25. Okay, and that one I definitely think it needs to move over a little bit. So I'm just going into this little 4 arrows, and I'm just moving it. I'm moving it so it doesn't overlap. Now let's zoom in and see. We're going to zoom in, make sure nothing's overlapping. Okay, we have snowman number 1, snowman number 2, snowman number 3, and snowman number 4. None of the circles overlap. That one looks like it's getting it looks a little close to this one. So you can just a little bit, we can just use these, and you can use these arrows here as well. Now, not all models let you do this, but what I like about the SDX 125 is that it does let you do a lot of editing while you're previewing, and that's kind of nice. All right, so I'm good. But crafty friends, you would keep on doing this until your whole sheet is covered with circles, okay? But, for the interest of the tutorial, we're just going to do 4. So I'm going to say okay. And again, if you want to change the contrast, so say this is, if it's too dark or too light. Right now we're in the light contrast mode. Go into the settings right there. And if you want to change it, you can make your background dark. Okay, that's what that is. Make your background dark, but it's very hard to see. So I like to keep my background light. If it annoys you and you can't get rid of it later, you're like, just turn it off altogether. In fact, we can go ahead and turn it off. Turn our background off. Okay? There. So it's off. In other words, we were just using it as a reference. We're not saving the background. We're just using it as a reference to where to put the circles. Let's say okay. And we're going to say cut. Now it's auto blade technology. So it knows how deep to go. But if you're using the CM350, you can do the same thing I'm showing you, background scan. If you're using the ScanNCut 2 or another model where you need to set the blade depth, with Specialty Designer Series paper, because it is really thick and some of it has glitter on it, I've been using a blade depth of 5, and that's been working for me. Again, I'll have these notes in the description. Okay, so let's see what happened. Now we're going to get, I'm going to go ahead and say okay, and I'm going to unload the mat. And I want to show you this part now, and then I want to show you what you can do with this and how you can really use this to your advantage and the power of making these. Now look, because I used circles, I preserved as many snowmen as I could, meaning if I were to use squares, and I was trying to cut out these in squares, I would have cut into different snowmen next to them. Okay, so now you're just peeling all of your circles off the mat. And I want to show you now some more things on the screen, and then I'm going to show you my projects, of course, that I always show my projects at the end of the video. So if you're new to my channel, please subscribe, and always be patient, because at the end of my videos, I reveal the big picture and all the projects you can make with what I'm teaching you in my ScanNCut tutorials. I don't like to do that at the beginning, because I think it's more fun when you learn and discover as I discovered this kind of thing. All right, so let's do this. We are at the point of, say you have, you have all of these. Let's go back. You have all of your circles. I'm even turning back on the background just to give you, I'm keeping it on light. Oops, it's already gone. That's why it's already gone. That's okay. All right, say we have all the circles and you have them right where you want them, okay? And you want to, now you're going to save these and reuse your template. And I'm going to show you how to save it, retrieve it, then I'll show you my template. And the reason you'd want to do this is if you have one pack of designer series paper, let's just hit the save button while I'm talking. Save. You can save it to your machine, to your USB stick, or to your brother ScanNCut online. I just save it to my machine until my machine gets full. Okay, save it to the machine. All right, if you save it and you have more than one piece of paper, you can reuse this template and cut out all of your circles for your Let It Snow Designer Series paper. I have multiple packs of this. I'm doing a lot of craft fair preparation, and I'm going to show you my projects. You can use these circles to create these snowmen on your projects. I'm going to show you those. So if you have a lot of paper, even just more than one sheet, it's good to save your template, because then when you open up that template again, which I'm going to show you, let's just go home. So now it's tomorrow, and you have this pack of paper. You only cut one paper one day, one of these pieces of paper. And the next day, I just want to show you some more of this paper. This paper is gorgeous. Okay, this paper is Let It Snow Designer Series paper. Okay, so look how cool this is. These pieces, these are the pieces I'm using for craft fair preparation. And I mean, I'm just showing you a couple pieces of it because I've shown many videos with this. If you want to get this paper, it will definitely be linked in the description of the video. All right, but say it's the next day and you have a pack of this paper and you're like, I have 2 sheets of this snowman and I want to cut them out. So you just retrieve your template that you created the day before or previously. So you go into retrieve data. So you turn on your machine, you go to retrieve data, and you go, and this is where you retrieve it from. You're going to retrieve it from the machine, and you're just going to scroll to the last page, which is the last thing you saved, and then I'll show you my template. Here we go. There are your circles. Okay, so now you can just hit OK, and you can hit cut, and OK again, and cut, and you can cut out multiple sheets of this. So, and this background scanning feature, I hope your wheels are spinning. You can use this for making any kind of, you can cut out any of your papers. You can put any shapes on here. These could have been squares. These could have been card bases. These could have been anything, okay? So let's go home now. I just want to show you my retrieve data. I want to show you my template. And then I'll put on the description of the video, I'll tell you how many circles I had of each shape, of each size, I mean. How many were 2.75, how many were 2.5. Here's my template. Okay, so there's my template. So now you get the big picture, and now I'm going to show you. Now I got to pull my machine away and show you the rest of this tutorial because I have something here that's even more visual, I think. And my machine, yes, it's falling apart. That's how much I use my machine. So here I did this visually just to show you my template. So here, let's see. I'm going to turn my camera down. I wanted to really show you my template and how I got all these circles as big as I could because I wanted to get as much of the background as I could for each of the snowmen. Okay, I wanted to get as much background as I could, but I didn't want to cut into any of the other snowmen on this paper. So I hope your wheels are spinning with ideas of how you can use that. So all you need to do then is pull up that template, load another piece of paper, load the mat, and press cut. And you will keep on cutting this out. Okay, here you go. You're going to keep on cutting out your template over and over again. So I did this multiple times with multiple packs of paper, and here are my little snowmen. Okay, so here are the I have a whole big pile. I do things in stages. Whole big pile of 2.75-inch snowmen. And if for some reason your paper was, if one of them got messed up or got off center, then you can always use the other side of it. These circles are cool too. I mean, this is designer series paper, but who doesn't love the glittery snowman? Okay, a whole big pile of 2.5, a whole big pile of 2.25, and then of course not as many of So 2.75, 2.5, 2.25, 2, only a few 2-inch circles. I did that to kind of fill in the other circles, and some even 1.75. So they all look super cute, right? And I have all these circles, and I'm doing all these projects, and I'm like, now I'm ready. Now I'm ready. I got my paper cut up, and here's what you can do with it. So remember, I just did a series. Not remember. Maybe you're new to my channel. I just did a series on creating snowman nugget treats. And in that series, I showed you how to create the snowman manually. We did all kinds of things. I showed you how to cut out stamped images, all kinds of things. But I have a lot of snowmen, and I'm still working on that project. Okay, but look how much simpler this is. And I tried it with the background. I used these little snowmen we just cut out, the circle snowman. And he's cute, but I think he doesn't contrast enough with the background. So what I did is I just tried it on a black background, and he contrasts really well. So there's your circle snowman, instant topper. Bada boom, instant nugget treat topper. Now that's a lot quicker than stamping an image, scanning in the image, cutting out the image, coloring it in with the Stampin blends, gluing the little hat on there. Now, I love doing all that stuff. In fact, I'm enjoying immensely making these nugget treats, and I really don't mind making them. But I mean, look how much quicker it is to just put the circle on the topper than it is to do all that kind of stuff. All right, project number 2. So that's one. This is one way to use your circles that I'm showing you for your background scanning. Project number 2 is decorate mini pizza boxes. Whenever you have circles, one thing that's good to do with circles is put them on squares. Okay, and this is I put them on a wobble spring. I'll have a link to my wobbles. I use wobble springs. I can't stop spinning my little snowman. It just kind of, the reason I put him on a spring, or her, I guess it's a her. This is a female snowman because she has a little bird on her head, I think. Anyway, the reason I did that is because the contrast. Remember, I was just talking about contrasting with the background. I think when you put it up on a spring, it contrasts better with that really cool shiny background. This is all designer series paper. I'm going to show you the inside of my pizza box. Okay, so basically you just kind of take your designer series paper, take the ones that aren't foiled, or not foiled, glittered. Don't use the ones that have glitter on them to glue onto the pizza box. Like, try not to use the glitter, try not to put the glitter side to gluing it. Put the glitter side up, because it's kind of hard for the glitter side to stay on the side of the pizza boxes, okay? And then inside, I did do it on the bottom though. I did put a little piece that was glittered facing down. So I put the nuggets inside and a little Santa Hershey Kiss. The stores are starting to carry Christmas candy now. These are Santa Hershey Kisses. That one in the middle, and these are just regular Hershey Kisses. And then these are wrapped nuggets and the Let It Snow. And I put the Let It Snow in the inside because it just definitely wouldn't fit on the outside with that circle snowman. And lastly, my last project is, I said it's good when you have a bunch of circles to put them on to a bunch of square, to put them on squares. So for this one I used what's called, and I'll have a link to it in the description, it's called our brick and mortar. It's a really cool 3D embossing folder, okay, by Stampin' Up. Everything I'm showing you is by Stampin' Up, by the way. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator. So definitely check out these products. Look at this. This is called the brick and mortar embossing folder. Instant card. Whisper white cardstock, the little circles we just cut out, brick and mortar embossing folder. And the reason I'm showing you in the light is I'm trying to show you how it glimmers. Because what I did to the brick and mortar is I took our delicata, I'm not even sure if I'm saying that right. My viewers always tell me when I mispronounce things. But this ink, I took the ink, the gold ink, and I inked it with the makeup sponge. And I put the ink, this gold glittery Golden Glitz ink that Stampin' Up also sells, and I put that on the bricks. Okay, so those are 3 ideas. I mean, the ideas are endless, really, crafty friends. But those are 3 things you can do with the snowmen that you just background scanned. Just cut them out, and then you have a reusable template. So go ahead and get yourself some Let It Snow specialty designer series paper, and let it happen. Let it make some crafts this holiday season using the circles that you cut out from that paper. Okay, well, thank you. That's all for now. This is the Papered Chef.